Hello everyone, my name is Magdala Ramirez. I come from the Maya Mexica tradition and I'm so happy to be with you today. We are entering in our calendar this beautiful trecena, 13 days of Coatl. Coatl is the snake and it is about the life force and it is about your relationship with life. There is so much going on in this for such a long time. They told you that you're living your life. And in that way, you allowed life lives you instead of understanding yourself as life that you have always been. Just having an experience in this time space, lessons that they are related with love. Love that you are. And we have been making so many episodes in our radio talk about love. And that you are love in the same way you are life. You have always been life. And this is a very powerful understanding because when you allowed life lives you as you were thought in the patriarchal system, thinking that things are going to show up, that you're going to deal with it, and it is about pain and suffering, thinking that through pain and suffering you will have some kind of reward. You begin to think in that linear way, thinking that you're born, that you grow up, that you reproduce yourself, you pay taxes, and then you died. And that is the linear way of thinking about life. But the truth is that you have always been life. You are always alive. You come into this realm with a purpose in life. To learn the lessons of love, to learn the lessons of recognizing yourself as life. Understanding that all those emotions and they are so completely related with the understanding of life. Like, for example, if you're happy, your immune system goes up. If you're sad and depressed, your immune system goes down. And everything that it is in between, in emotions, it will be representing in sickness in your body, in your physical body. And yet there is the one that it is observing, the one that recognizes herself as love and be able to heal these parts, and the one that it is recognizing yourself as life, that it is able to bring that life force back into your physical body. Your body heals by itself, and it is a natural thing. Yet, when you are able to understand this, is because you have always been life. And once you tap into this incredible life force and bring these teachings into your physical body, your body is designed to repair itself and going back into that balance of a healthy body, that is nature by itself. Recognizing these emotions are very, very important in how it has been ruling your life. But I want to tell you in this moment, this beautiful story that we have, that it has been in my mind the whole morning before I send the wave to the people in the school. There is this story about Coatl, and what it is in front of it, it is the eagle, Cuautli. And in our calendar, it is a consciousness of the East and the West. They are coming together. The story is that Huitzilopochtli have a vision about this place where the eagle is eating a snake on top of a cactus. And in there, that's where the city needs to be built. The temples needs to be built, and that is what we call now Mexico City. And it is in our flag, and it is very much the understanding of what it means to be Mexica. And Mexico means union of polarities, the male and female together. That is Ometeo. And that has to do about the perfect bonding of that male and female within your own self, where it is not anymore horizontal, but it is vertical. A consciousness that it will take you into a different dimensions. It is both male and female. The story is very, very important because it gives you the opportunity to see life as it is. Does it is your little world ruling you, or can you see the bigger picture? That is the vertical way of thinking. When you are able to comprehend this within your own self, you bring that emotional body to the understanding and be okay with it. That you are the source. That you are this love that you have always been. This one, the one that created you, it is within your own self. She is in you. And she is that part in you that recognize yourself as love, as the source of everything. So it is about life. She is the life giver, means that you are that life giver. You give life. You give light. You are the one who is the source of everything. There is this very beautiful story too about how the Great Mother and the Great Father, which is one and the same, turned into this beautiful, beautiful divine sparks and went everywhere in the multiverse. And each one of that divine spark are the life force of everything that exists. It is you, that divine spark. And you have been sending all these messages and report of everything that you have been learning. There is a part of you that remembers where you're coming from. That is why the ancestors always said, you always need to know where you're coming from in order to know where you're going. That life force that you are, that you have always been, it is showing you the bigger picture. It is showing you that there is much more than that little world that struggles you and puts you into different kinds of emotions, that in some way you identify yourself thinking that that is the only thing that exists. Those emotions are very, very linked with the life force in your physical body. Even when you think of death, you are alive because you are that consciousness. Consciousness is just way too important to comprehend because consciousness, it is linked with your frequency range. How much of that frequency range you have achieved in your life. That has to do about love again. How much of that purity of love you are willing to accept within your own self. This is very powerful times that we are living as a human being, because this is the entrance of that fifth dimension the world of the enchanted flower, as we call it, or in Christianity they call it the kingdom of heaven. And it was never about death. It was about consciousness, enlightening your consciousness. Nowadays, what you call the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, it was divided. Yet for the ancestors, it was no such a thing of that division. Everything that that subconscious mind knew, the consciousness was able to grasp, was able to understand and embrace, means that beautiful feminine, means the consciousness, the understanding of love, that it is within your own self, the one that it is connected with the multiverse library, we can say, the one that it is able to know, the one that knows. It is very much enlightening your consciousness. That is making heaven on earth and earth on heaven. This is the one that recognizes that all the relations are happening inside of you. It's not the mountain, it is the way that you relate with the mountain. It is that perception of reality that it gives you that enlightenment within your own self. That part that it is a vertical means the dimensions within your own self, that you are giving birth to a new consciousness over and over and over again, because you're the life giver. You are the light giver. And through that understanding, we can observe this in a very powerful manner. You see, you have the assistance that you need, but it is up to you, and it is your responsibility, that connection. Nobody can do that connection with the one that created you, the life force. The life force that it is in the tree, in the flower, it is the same life force that it is within you. And through that life force, you connect with absolutely everything, with all your relations, with everything that exists, all the life forms, seen and unseen, means in that way that it is how you are able to conceive yourself, means the conception of a new consciousness within you. And I know that these are different concepts, different understandings, and yet it is very, very old. It is only got very, very distorted in this society, in this civilization, when the patriarchal system wanted to think that the only thing that exists is your little world. You go to work, you die, you pay bills, you are supposed to be afraid of death. Death is the end. And that's how you begin to see yourself, instead of observing that new beginning over and over again, because you have always been eternal. And when you put attention in that eternity of life that you have always been, it changed completely the story of the things that they are completely perishable. In a decayed world, that they want you to put attention in that programming of that it was installed in you for a very, very long time. The emotions are very, very linked with your own sickness, whatever that is. If you heal that emotion, immediately your body, your physical body will heal. For the physical body only respond to that. You see, it is you, the one that it is understanding this. When you died in your physical body, the only thing that you're going to take is the love, what you have learned about love. That is why human beings, in the time of their death, they remember all their life. But they will remember time and spaces about love. They will remember their loved ones and what they have learned about love, because that is the only thing that they're going to take. The understanding of love. It helps you to understand the life force that you have always been. That consciousness that you are. It is the bonding of life that you have always been. If you allow, life leaves you over and over again because you think that the little world are your priorities in life, then you are living in that third dimensional reality. And yet, there is a part of you that it is able to recognize the higher picture, recognizing that it doesn't matter many of the things that for you has been so important, because you create an identity about this, and that was emotional, thinking that something else is gonna rule you. Nothing it is ruling you but yourself. Those aspects of yourself are being integrated within you at the same time that you are being integrated from a higher understanding of yourself. As we have been saying, that concept of yours about higher self, it is only a different version of yourself. That it is you, and you need you. The only one that you need to reach is you. For that higher self, and I'm putting this in quotes, it is linked with the knowledge of the multiverse, the life that you have always been, that life that it is encoded in you. Then we have this beautiful understanding of the India tradition. That's about the Kundalini. And it is happening in this time space and of Coatl, the snakes. The feminine and masculine snakes coming together, uniting your chakras, those centers that you have, which are very, very powerful. And I do recommend for you to make this meditation of the Kundalini, bringing your feminine and masculine, and yet for the ancestors. Those chakras was what we call the cuecuellos. And the way of the meditation, it is in a spiral way, and it starts with your heart. And in that way, you unite each one of those centers in a spiral manner, because everything, it's about love. That's why it starts with the heart chakra. That energy of the understanding of love that you are, of life that you are. And each one of those centers, it is showing you different consciousness that in some way is weaved together in the multiverse. Each one, as you pass through it, it is a very different story. How everything it is bonded into one, because you have always been living in a world of oneness. That means a vertical way of thinking. The ancestors, they were not measuring time. They were measuring consciousness. So our calendar is not about the measuring of time, but measuring the consciousness. And that measurement, it has to do with your understanding of love, your understanding of life. That very, very center of who you are. That understanding of going vertical into many, many worlds, into many, many dimensions. I want to remind you that we do have a school online where we work spiritual work in so many things, in so many understandings, and getting rid of that programming that it was installed in the human being, and be able to awake those higher consciousness that it is within your own self. I want to remind you about the new app, the first new app that we have, that it is called Messages from the Great Mother, that it is available in your phone. And I want you to really download it as soon as possible, for the synchronicities of those messages are helping you to see the higher picture of your own self. I want to remind you that all the relations are happening within you. I want you to remind you that you're not bounded by time in a linear way, for you are the past, the present, and the future, all happening at the same time. There are so many versions of yourselves that they are being integrated as we speak. I want to remind you that I am your other you. And you are me, and I can feel you within me. For whatever you are, I am with you. For whatever I am, you are with me. We are weaving together a whole new spectrum of reality. So, don't allow life leaves you, for you have always been life. I am you. Tlatsokomate, Tlatsokomate, Tlatsokomate.